As we welcome you inside the MHTV studios here on the campus of Central Michigan University. Once again, I'm Derek Steele, and we welcome you to episode 3 of our studio show, Inside Chippewa Hockey, and welcome to our holiday episode. The first segment of the show, we are talking about the men's Division III team. I'm joined by Braden Kielb and CCHN broadcaster Devin Sarah. How are you both gentlemen doing tonight?
Living the dream, you know me.
Yeah, same here. Merry Christmas to you. I see you got festive with the ties. I decided to jump in. Can we get a close-up on that? Which camera? Right here? Oh, yeah. Can we compare? Derek, I want to see yours.
Okay, we seeing the tie?
Is it the North Pole?
Penguins? It is Penguins.
Oh, happy feet guy.
It is Penguins.
Hey, that fits you, doesn't it?
Oh, I would say a little bit. Okay. But Braden, before we start talking about the team, let's learn a little bit more about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm 19 years old. I'm from Livonia, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. I went to high school for 4 years at Dearborn Divine Child, where I played hockey there all 4 years. And then I came to Central Michigan to get a major in computer science, and I chose to play hockey here as well. So,
what made you choose CMU over possible other schools to go play hockey at?
Well, it wasn't so much the hockey decision. It was how much in scholarships I received for my academics, and CMU gave me the most. The other school was Detroit Mercy, and I just got more money here, so here I am.
One final question. Can you tell us a little bit of how you started playing hockey? Like, what influenced you to start hockey?
It was definitely my dad. I couldn't tell you when. I was like, before I could remember, I was in skates. He played for, I want to say, till his sophomore year of high school, and then when he had me and my brother, we both just like played hockey our entire lives.
Where'd he play at?
My brother?
Yeah.
He also played at Divine Child.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you two ever play together? Or?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
He's 2 years older than me, so my freshman year, he was a junior.
Was he also an Acha rock star eventually? Or?
No, he was not. He goes to U of M Dearborn. He is
okay.
robotic engineer.
Well, Devin, changing the topic to you, 2-2 for this Division III team the last 4 games. What have you seen from the team that has propelled them to the 2 wins?
Well, it's been a turnaround month. You know, they struggled a lot in October against some really tough opponents there. And they pretty much did what they needed to do against U of M Flint to start things off. A good road victory right there, one of their first of the year. And then they carried that momentum into Adrian, where they completely dominated them. And 10-1 victory the first night at home, and then 8-1 the next night. You took care of business against a team that has only won 1 game this year. So it's great to see the turnaround. Keel, I'd like to ask you, how much fun was it to play in those types of games where, let's be honest, the season didn't start the way you wanted, but you come out of this month with some victories?
You know, it is nice to be on the other side of that. We had some tough losses in October to schools like LTU and Michigan State. So to be on the other side of burying the team, it just feels great, you know?
Yeah, one of the topics I had for the Adrian College, 7 power play goals, 3 shorthanded goals, 1 penalty shot goal for your team that weekend. What was going so special for your special teams? And was it just it clicked, or was it something you were practicing leading up to Adrian?
No, I think it was just that we clicked, and it's something that we got to replicate in our other games. We haven't really found that same stride even since that game. That we just got to click there. We got great players like Bottles. He's the penalty shot maestro. I think he's like 3-0 in penalty shots or whatever.
Yep.
So we just got to really just click like we did, and the goals will start coming.
Yeah, and I'll add that to that point is you guys put together a really clean game, I thought, the first time. I mean, I can't remember a missed pass that you guys had in that second and third period. It looked just so succinct to get you guys in system, which I know you guys have struggled goal-scoring-wise, so that's got to be a big plus for you. I mean, you only allowed them or let them face 12 shots, and you as a defenseman, how much pride do you guys take in shutting down a team like that and not even allowing them to have a chance in it?
Well, yeah, they definitely could have had more, but there was a lot of people putting their bodies on the line, blocking shots that game, which is something that we all really need to replicate playing against these better schools like GV coming up this weekend. We need to really put our bodies on the line like we did against Adrian, and it's even more important when it's a school like that.
Well, another point I have down for that Adrian series was the debut for Lucas Hutton, one of your teammates out of Novi High School. First collegiate point was an assist for him. What was that moment like for him in that locker room after that game, getting his first collegiate point?
It was pretty exciting, when everybody gets a first goal, first point, especially after a victory. It feels great. You cheer them on, say great job, now go do it again the next night.
$1 million question for you. Do you still remember your first Acha point? Do you have the puck still?
I have not scored an Acha goal.
You have not
no,
yet?
I have not.
Wow. You had a point. You've had a couple
I've
assists.
had a couple assists. I don't remember who my first one was, but this year it was. They didn't give it to me, but Connor Beamish passed me a puck and it hit a stick, bounced off my face. I believe it went to either Porzo or Jay, and he scored, but they did not give me that assist, unfortunately.
That's a creative way to score.
Yeah, they didn't give me that one, but I think my other one was, it was OC, might have been my first assist this year. Not quite certain.
Well, moving on to that Florida Gulf Coast series, you guys go down to Fort Myers, Florida, lose 6-1, 10-1 against them. What was that locker room like, especially after that hard Saturday loss?
It was the Saturday loss was we had to talk about. We weren't clicking as a team, we were too clicky, not all together as one, and that was something that we had to address, and we've been working on since then.
Devin, turning the conversation to you, we talked about the 10-1, 8-1 victories for Adrian, and then you go down to Florida, you get outscored 16-2. What was the difference from that team you saw from your vantage point?
Well, that Florida Gulf Coast team we've always known as being really fast, really physical, but the special teams were firing on all cylinders. CMU took a lot of penalties early in that game that put them behind the 8 ball, and they capitalized on every single one, it felt like. They had 5 power play goals the first night, 3 the next night, and so it was a case where you pretty much found yourself, unless it was either in strength, playing from behind, chasing the puck a lot, and it really tired out this team. Assistant coach Tyler Koth, I asked him before game 2, he said, we just got too tired in the first game. We got too tired late in it, burned our guys out from being on the special teams and the kill for the longest time. People forget CMU scored the first goal in this game, and they played well the first 8 minutes, but it was after they took the first 2 penalties, and Nathan Walker, a freshman of theirs, had 3 goals and a hat trick in that game. He had all power play goals that it pretty much spiraled out of control. So for them, if you look at the 5-on-5, they were keeping up with the speed. You and I talked off air about this, how if you look at the 5-on-5, it's a tie hockey game.
Yeah, especially that Friday. We don't take any of those dumb penalties that we did. It's a 1-1 game. Who knows what way that one goes? We could have actually buried them because we had that momentum rolling in that first half when I think it was Bottles put that puck in. There was all this momentum, and then we take that penalty, and they score one on that lucky fluke over Caleb's shoulders, and then just kind of that momentum kind of shifts in their direction, and it turned into the game that it did.
Well, we talked about Lucas Hutton making his debut against Adrian. It was another Chippewa who made their debut against Florida Gulf Coast, being Jace Johnson. What have you liked from the freshman Johnson?
He's got great speed and he has great hands. He just got to learn to release that puck quicker. He's going to be a great player in the outfit, definitely.
Devin, same question for you.
This freshman is really explosive. He put up 44 goals in 24 games at Riverview Cabrini High School, and for him playing in a first game against the number 2 team in the nation, I thought he held himself all right. He took a couple penalties here and there that cost them with power play goals, but otherwise he was a really hard worker. He was scrapping behind the net for pucks. He was able to carry it on his own. I felt like he could play the 200-foot game and keep up with their speed. So that's some promise there. He didn't finish on a number of his chances, but he had a lot of good looks, and I think that's a promising thing for a kid that is coming into this league and this program where they need him right now to be explosive. They've lacked the goal scoring, but I think he's going to provide that, and it's only a matter of time until we see him get his first ACHA goal. One thing that's notable, expect to see him a lot more on the power play. I think that should be anything where we can see him really shine and light it up on the score sheet.
Grand Valley State is the number 1 team right now in the MCHC West, sitting at a 12-0 record. Devin, one last question for you. Looking at this Central Michigan team, what is one area you think they need to improve to be able to take 1 or 2 games against the Lakers?
Well, the layup answer is they got to score more goals, right? But the way you do that is you get in a better rhythm in their system. You talked about this team feeling like they got down on themselves maybe after a couple of goals. They felt like they weren't clicking as a unit. I think it starts with the fact that they need to find their role players, and they need to succinct into their roles. I mean, that's what Brendan Martin talks about. It's not about them, it's about us. And if you can play to your role, you got to figure out who's going to be the goal scorers in this team, who's going to be the support on the back end that's going to make sure we don't give up a fast break, who is going to give us the best chance to score on a power play and avoid those penalties. So to put it all together is the hardest thing. This is the number 1 team in the country. They deserved it. They've had multiple games where they've won by 10-plus goals, and they beat 5-2 Oakland University, who's a top 10 team right now. So they're all they're cracked up to be, but like Braden said, any team is beatable. They beat this team in Brendan Martin's first weekend as an interim head coach last year after taking an overtime loss. So you get one game out of either of these that changes the entire complexity of the season, where this team's now looking on the outside in and they need some big things to happen. But all it takes is one opportunity, one goal, and this team can get off and firing.
Well, that Friday-Saturday series will be right here on CCH, and Devin, Sarah, and Reagan Cleaves will have that series for you. Well, we'll take a quick break here on Inside Chippewa Hockey. I want to thank you, Devin and Braden, for coming on. Make sure to stay tuned. After the break, we'll have the Women's Division II team on. You're watching Episode 3 of Inside Chippewa Hockey.
Chippewa Hockey is on CCHN.
Oh my goodness!
The place to watch Men's Division III
Here's Connor Morgan out and quick for Porzundicki scores!
and Women's Division II.
Burnett's gonna get a shot and goal, and she scores!
Every shift, every goal, every game,
Central Michigan has turned the corner.
all in one place. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
And welcome back to Episode 3 of Inside Chippewa Hockey. Once again, I'm Derek Steele, and now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the Women's Division II team. Tonight we are joined by junior goalie Lauren Abraham and CCHN analyst Parker Morrison. How are you both doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Doing great, doing great.
Well, that is amazing to hear. Lauren, we'll do the same thing with you that we did for Braden. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up in the Chicago area. I'm from Glenview, Illinois. Graduated from Glenbrook South High School. I played there for 2 years at the high school. My first freshman and sophomore year, I just played travel teams. I have an older brother and sister, both who played hockey, no longer anymore. So they're kind of the reason I got into it, but yeah.
Well, looking at your career, why CMU over other schools?
So my biggest thing about what college I wanted to go to was academics, and I wanted to be able to play hockey. And I feel like I had more niche academic requirements. Like I did ASL, American Sign Language, all throughout high school. So it was really important that I would have a program coming to college where I could still do that and work with deaf and hard of hearing individuals and play on a hockey team. And so I reached out to the team, and they kind of just took me on a whim. Coach had never seen me play before, so he was just kind of like, yeah, sure, join. And, you know, Bree was his number one until he saw me play, and then he was like, oh, like, dang, okay, we got 2 good goalies here, yeah. So.
Well, I can tell you for sure that is a mistake head coach Chris Haney does not regret making through your 2.5 years here. Well, Parker, taking a look at the last 4 games for Central Michigan, 3-1 in their last 4 games. They're coming off a huge sweep against Bowling Green State, where, by the way, back-to-back shutouts. Someone might have to fact-check me with this. I believe that might be one of the first times in program history, correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, with a back-to-back shutout.
I think so. I think you're right.
So at least one of the first times, and then the series before then, it was a 4-2 win, 4-3 loss against Lawrence Tech. So, Lauren, what was the locker room like, especially after that 4-3 loss against Lawrence Tech a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, so after a loss, we really do not get down on each other at all. It's very much like, okay, where do you guys think it all went wrong? And, you know, we talked through it as a team together, and we use that as fuel to improve for the next game, which I think that second game we really came out strong with a lot of energy, and we really proved hey, this, yesterday was a fluke, and this is how we play, this is our game.
By the way, Parker, nice Santa hat.
I appreciate
I just noticed that.
appreciate
and with the holiday tie.
And with the penguin tie as
keeping
well,
the
yes,
theme
of course,
alive
of
here
course.
on CCHN.
Got to get
gotta get the hat in, of course.
You guys are matching with penguin tie.
We are matching with
Oh my
penguin
God.
ties.
That is so
Oh my goodness!
cute.
By
I'm
the
gonna
way,
have
that
to
was
change.
that was
I
not
gotta change.
planned.
Somebody get me a new tie.
That was not planned whatsoever. But Parker, going back to hockey, unfortunately, I know Penguins are amazing, but going back to hockey, you were on air for that Lawrence Tech series. Game 1, they lost down at Farmington Hills Ice Arena. They come back to the Marty less than 24 hours later.
Yes, yeah.
What was the biggest change you saw in that team going from a loss to a win?
I think it was the momentum, and I was able to sit down with Kylie Del Rey, talking with her before the game and after the game as well. She said they kind of came into it thinking that it was going to be an easier win than it was. And as soon as she scored, she said, we had the momentum going on the bench. It was feeling great. We scored again. We got up 3-1, I believe, in the second period. And then Sophia Buckberger and DiMaggio, the crazy duo coming from LTU, top of the ACHA for both of them in points, come in, and they score 2 in a row to put them 3-3. Kylie tried to get another one at the end, wasn't able to, unfortunately, and it was really the momentum that just kind of knocked them off at the end there. They were up, and I know the 2-goal lead in hockey is the worst lead you can possibly have, and I think not that's what killed them, but the momentum overall, kind of just coming down from a 3-3 differential hurt them a lot. And then they come now to the Marty, and they're all the momentum was back. She said everyone came in with a clean head. It's just another team, and that's the mindset that I think a lot of you guys take into it is no matter who you play now, no matter who it is, they're good, top of the ACHA, bottom of the ACHA. It's just another team, and they're there to win.
Well, you talk about that mindset, and Lauren, is that a mindset that kind of naturally happens, or is that something that head coach Chris Haney and Mac Barnett, the leadership on the team, try and preach throughout the season?
Yeah, so I think any hockey player you want to go into a game with a team that may be top of the league, bottom of the league, whatever, and you're like, ooh, top of the league, like scary, or like, ooh, bottom of the league, like this is going to be easy. Like I feel like that's a natural mindset that you easily want to go to. So I think Coach Chris Haney does a really good job at kind of bringing us back to the real world, like, hey, it really does not matter, because at the end of the day, it's your game, play your game, and anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Well, taking a look at the Division II Central rankings, Sioux College, Lawrence Tech, Central Michigan, and Adrian, you played 3 out of those 4 teams. Well, 2 out of those 3 teams, not including Central Michigan. This semester being Sioux College and Lawrence Tech, got swept by Sioux College. You split with Lawrence Tech. What can you tell us about Adrian being a team that you play in February?
I think we're all really excited to play Adrian. The individuals on the team that have already been on this team and seen them before can all tell you that it's really fun to play against Adrian. I feel like we're pretty matched with them, and it's always a great game. The energy is always high, so I'm very excited to play them. Yeah.
Well, Parker, bringing you back into the conversation, the Adrian Bulldogs right now sitting at 7-3. This being the first ranking period for Division II Women's, being sat at number 4. What can you tell us about the Adrian Bulldogs and what makes them such a dangerous team in the CCWHA?
I think they're a very heavily offensive team, and that's what I've noticed a lot. And they're able to clear the zone, get the puck out of their zone immediately. That's something that we as a team struggled with in the beginning of the year a little bit, and now we've gotten better at. And you saw that in the BGSU series. We did that phenomenally, and obviously we came out with 2 shutout wins, 6-0, 3-0. With Adrian being such a heavily offensive team, you're looking at a lot of our defensemen, like Captain Mac Barnett, to kind of shut them down and clear the zone immediately. So that's what we're looking for in this Adrian series.
Well, you mentioned the Bowling Green State series, Parker, and Lauren, you were one of the 2 goalies that did get a shutout. You got the 3-0 shutout on Friday night. What went right for you? Was it just something clicked, or was it just like another night in the office for you?
So one thing I will say is that the ice we played on was very, very choppy. And so there were a lot of bouncy pucks that were like hitting chips in the ice and kind of redirecting in a different direction. So that was definitely something to take into consideration, something I was way more mindful about, because right as I stepped on the ice for warm-ups, I was like, whoa, this is definitely going to change the way the puck moves. So I was just trying to be more mindful of that, making sure that I just was always had if I was on the ice, pads both down, stick right in front in case like there was a weird bounce, which it did happen a few times. Then, I had a backup pad to get me, or my stick, or just whatever. But I don't know. I try and play every game with the mindset of I am not letting a single goal go through me. And I think that's how Bree also thinks. Like any goalie is like, no, like this puck is not getting through me. And I guess something just really clicked that day that we both were able to stand on our heads and come out of that weekend with 2 very much deserving shutouts.
Well, 3 games now between you and Bree Schroer, where no pucks have made it past you, the other being Notre Dame earlier this season. Bringing Bree into the conversation for a second, what have you liked from Bree Schroer, and what's some improvements you've seen from her from the sophomore to junior year?
I love Bree as a goalie partner. We are very supportive of each other, and we're always communicating. And I think, just like with every year, improvements always are something you're working towards. And I know that she was working towards last year, like when she's down in the fly, not sitting back as much. And so this year she's been up in that fly and just really standing on her head. And like every year, the past 2 seasons with her, I've loved playing with her. We're a great duo, and she's always standing on her head.
Parker, same question for you. Biggest improvement from Schroer?
I think it's been not letting those easy ones go in. We saw a couple earlier in the year, which she obviously didn't want those going in. And I think she's really improved on honing down just fundamentals. And throughout her freshman, sophomore, and then now junior year, you can really see just her improving little by little every single year to get to the point she is now. And I know you said you love playing with her. And I mean, it's been great for her this season so far. You guys have 3 games each now, and around the same save percentage, you sitting at .901, her sitting at .93, so.
And she does a phenomenal job at covering for me when I'm on the IR, which happens every season so far. But yeah, love her.
Awesome.
Well, we've got to ask, is there a little bit of friendly competition between you and Schroer of trying to top one another, or is it all love between you two?
Honestly, she is like my favorite goalie partner I've ever played on a team with, and I'm not just saying this because, she might watch this. I mean it like seriously, because in the past, like my goalie partners have always made it clear, like it is a competition. Like we are not in this as a team. It's I'm trying to get better than you and trying to earn more playing time than you. And with Bree, it's just different. Like, we're just like, I don't know, it's a very friendly atmosphere, and I don't think that competitiveness of like, I need to be better than you is there, because we both are very, very good at getting the puck, not letting the puck in the net.
Well, going from goalie, I want to talk a little bit more of the leadership of this team. 2 of the big leaders being Mac Barnett and Mariah Wilson, both unfortunately graduating from this team. It was Mariah's last game against Bowling Green State. What has Mariah brought to the team the last 4+ years?
Mariah has a lot of knowledge on the team. She is able to see the ice like as a whole. And so, like, in between periods, like Coach will obviously, like, tell us what we need to improve. And Mariah always is, like, there adding in extra just helpful tips that, maybe we aren't totally aware of, but something that we can definitely work on. And she's just super, super positive and uplifting. I don't think I've ever heard her say, like, a negative thing in my life. So that really goes a long way with the team dynamic.
Well, Parker, bringing you back into the question, this team sitting at 8-4. Sorry, excuse me, 10-4.
Yes.
Sorry for forgetting those.
Gotta add the Bowling Green series. You can't forget about that. It was a shutout for her. Come on.
10-4. I am sorry. I hope you can forgive me, Lauren. But what does this team have to do second semester? We saw a vast difference between this team from first semester to second semester last year. What does this team have to do to not hit that same rocky road they did last year?
Continuing their momentum is really key. I mean, they're on a 3-game heater so far, and you guys are coming off 2 shutout wins. That's really good momentum for you guys. That's something you've got to keep up. We saw it last year. You guys were on a couple game win streak, and then you'd go into an easier team, or on paper an easier team, and you guys wouldn't play your best hockey because you kind of played down to them. And that's something you guys have done phenomenally moving forward from the LTU series.
I'd agree.
Yeah, two teams looking at that is Miami University and Northern Michigan, two teams that CMU did sweep. Hopefully they will see one of those two teams, if not later in the season, in the CCWHA standing, or in the playoffs, excuse me. Well, thank you, Lauren and Parker, for coming on, and make sure to stay tuned after the break. We'll have the final team, the men's Division II team, on. It'll be Riley Joyce along with John Gervasi. Make sure to stay tuned for that. You're watching episode 3 of Inside Chippewa Hockey. And welcome back to the holiday special of Inside Chippewa Hockey. Finally, I want to introduce the men's Division II team. We are joined by sophomore forward Riley Joyce and Black Dog commentator John Gervasi. No holiday tie today, I noticed.
I don't wear ties, man. I just bought a suit for the first time in my life, so we'll see how the tie goes this weekend.
Well, Riley, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore. I grew up in Canada, in the Calgary, Alberta area. I'm studying finance right now, and I've been playing hockey all my life since I was 7. This would have been around my 12th year of hockey. Last year, unfortunately, I tore my ACL, so I only played 5 games. This year, I've been playing a lot, so it's been awesome.
What was that process like, getting the ACL surgery and then having to rehab and get back on the ice?
It was pretty difficult, to be honest. Trying to first of all, get back on the ice and let alone learn how to walk and deal with a lot of this by myself since I'm so far from my parents. It was definitely a challenge for a lot of it. But I'm super happy to be where I'm back and have my knee even come back a little bit stronger than I think it was before.
Well, obviously you chose Central Michigan over some other schools. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here right now. But what made you choose CMU over some other possible options?
First of all, I loved the recruiting. I fell in love with the campus. I came here for my visit in March, and I fell in love with the guys here, just the culture that CMU has, and I thought right away it felt like family, so I knew it would be the best fit for me.
Well, John, bringing you into the conversation, not the ideal start for first semester. You would like 0-15-1. We have talked in previous episodes about improvements of the team, and we're so close. We're a couple players away. What have you seen, especially going back to that UW-Milwaukee series? What have you seen from the team that gives you that little bit of sense of hope?
You know, the first game against UW-Milwaukee didn't quite go the way we had thought it would. The second game, losing any time is bad, but, losing 5-4 in OT in a game that we thought we had in hand, I think, because we came all the way back. We had all the momentum. It's tough, but, a turning point, I would think. I mean, the guys, you're down 4-0. You can quit or keep fighting, and I talk about it every week. It's the same hashtag every week when I post our game day previews, keep fighting. And that game, they showed their resiliency. They kept fighting. They fought all the way back in the game, even when everything was against them, even when we had guys getting tossed from the game from both teams. And I think this year the big key is resiliency. They're not going to give up in any game. And you look at games beforehand, losing 10-1, losing 18-1. It's not fun, but they don't give up. They're still skating hard. They're still trying to put pucks in net.
Well, Riley, first-year head coach Doug Wickstrom, for the Division II team. What has he brought to the team that might have been missing in the previous regime or in previous years?
I'd say he brought in sort of a new culture, honestly. I really like how relaxed it feels. I feel like my first year I was always super nervous to kind of mess up, and coming in with the change of hockey from high school to college, it was pretty hard. So kind of being able to kind of do my own thing on the ice in more of a relaxed feel, not have to necessarily be so uptight about systems or making the best play I can. I can really relax out there. And I think a lot of people agree with me, and I think that's a good turning point for our team.
Locker room and chemistry being two of the biggest things, especially in any team sport. 0-15-1 for your team. What is the locker room and what has the chemistry been like on the team?
I think our chemistry has improved so much. Due to our small team size, it has really allowed us to get super close to one another. and again, play a lot of time with the guys on our line. In the dressing room, to start the year, I'm not going to lie, we were kind of getting on each other, but that's what I love about the boys is we've been able to just get a positive manner out there and see the small wins like the game against Milwaukee, coming back to even force into OT. Like, in our eyes, that's a win. Even if, unfortunately, we lost that game because of officiating, that's a win in our book.
Well, looking ahead at the schedule, 2 games this upcoming weekend, Saturday, Sunday, against Sioux College. This is a team you went to Canada, you went to Sault Ste. Marie, lost 18-1 against them. Is this a game you've been looking forward to, or what's kind of your mindset going into this series?
Obviously, we're going to go into the game to win, and that's what we always do. No matter losing the first game 18-1, we're going to have bodies this game. The first game we had 8 or 9 skaters, I think. So we're going to go into this game to win. We don't care what the record is, and we don't care what happened the last game. We're going to battle and see if we can force it 3 periods.
Well, John, you were able to make the trip up to Canada. By the way, what a beautiful arena that is Northern Community Center up in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. But what's the biggest change you have seen in this team going from that Sioux College series to where they're sitting here right now?
I don't know if it's been a change since then. I think it's been basically a change. They've been basically getting better every game. Look, you finish a game with 8 skaters. It's tough playing with 12 skaters, and you finish a game with 8 skaters. I will tell you the one thing I've noticed with Sioux College, with that team, and Riley can attest to this, they're not a very physical team. When you get physical with them, they did not like the physical aspect of the game. So, going into this game, I would expect a lot of physicality. But in terms of improvement, it's been there all year. I think that Sioux was a good test for them. And, you go from there, you go to play LSSU, and it's a hard 3-game weekend, but I think they've improved every game this year.
Well, Riley, going back to you for a second, what were some lessons, either good or bad lessons, that were learned in that Sioux game and on that trip going to LSSU?
Definitely that we can battle with these top teams. When we played our best and when we were we had our energy, we were competing and we had time in their zone. Frankie was even able to put one in. Like, we were able to compete with these top teams when we have the proper bodies and the energy. One negative thing is we got to be better on penalties. We took a couple stupid penalties behind the play, so we got to get better at that. When we get tired, we got to come off instead of, unfortunately, tripping or hooking or doing these silly things to get in the box. But if we do that, I think we can pull off a win this weekend.
Well, moving to a different topic really quickly, John, the recruits gate for Division II, there's been, I believe, 5 guys that have signed with CMU. What is the future of Division II hockey looking like?
So we grabbed Avery Wolf, a forward from Reith's Puffer High School, Cam Wiley, Dario Benazzi, and Dylan Losi, all defensemen from East Kentwood High School. I think those are the 3 biggest gets for us because we have a lot of forwards. We don't have 3 full defensive pairs, and we're bringing guys like Frankie down to play defense, which he plays fantastic in either position he's in. But it will be nice to have 3 full defensive pairs. Coach Doug Wickstrom has said he's excited for them to join for the upcoming year. There's more to come. I think Coach wants to recruit skate somewhere in December. He wants to get more junior players to come. If you look at teams like Sioux College and LSSU, they're made primarily of mostly junior players. At the D2 and D1 level, it's very, very hard to win with a roster of high school players, and that's what a lot of the good D2 and D1 teams do. They will grab junior players. I think Sioux College's goalie played for the Peterborough Petes in the OHL, and he aged out, and he was playing for them, and he played really well. And then, our assistant coach, when talking to the parents, made a guarantee to the parents. A lot of people might think it as, oh, you're just kind of talking. I agree with him, and he guaranteed next year we will have more wins than losses next year. This year, it's tough, but I agree with him because we're building the chemistry, and with guys coming in next year, I fully believe that next year we will have a winning record.
Well, those 3 defensemen, Cam Wiley, Dario Bonazzi and Dylan Lochi, you mentioned from East Kentwood High School. Going back to you, Riley, do you think bringing in 3 guys from the same high school or bringing in guys that have played together before, does that help chemistry, bringing them all in together to the same team?
Totally. One thing that we really are very good at on this team is our chemistry. I think having guys that already have chemistry coming in, there'll be no lapses in play, and we'll be totally able to just get going on the game right away.
Well, taking a look at Division II Central rankings, Sioux College, the team you're playing next, is number 8, sitting at 11-3. Adrian at 17-1. That's a team you played earlier this season. And then Michigan State, Minnesota, Crookston, Concordia University of Wisconsin, Iowa, Lindenwood, and University of St. Thomas are the top 8 teams. You mentioned being able to beat some of the top teams. You took a look at Sioux College. You played Adrian. What are some other top teams that you would like to face?
Definitely close to us, Michigan State. I think last year when we played them, we definitely battled. I didn't personally get to play, but I thought we did a really good job. And I think once we get these other guys next year, that'll be definitely a battle, and it'll go the time for sure. Another one, again, is U of M. I don't know if they're ranked this year, but like going down to Yost is always a great time. And I think, again, we can definitely pull out a win when we go down there.
We have seen Lindenwood before. We had the fortunate chance to go down and play Lindenwood, and was it Maryville?
Maryville.
So we've seen firsthand how good Lindenwood and St. Thomas and Lindenwood seem to swap every other rankings in terms of how good they are. So.
Well, St. Thomas is number 1, Lindenwood number 2, and then we mentioned University of Iowa is number 3. Other number 1s to look at: Northeastern University in the Northeast Conference at 9-5, FGCU in the Southeast at 13-2-1, and then Montana State 19-1. They had a huge win earlier this season against number 7 Loyola Chicago. But Division II hockey is definitely on the rise here at Central Michigan. We want to give a big thank you to Riley and John for joining us. And you know what? Since it is our holiday special, we're going to do something a little bit special since it is the season of giving. Make sure to stay tuned after the break to see what I mean.
Chippewa hockey is on CCHN.
Oh my goodness!
The place to watch men's Division III
Here's Connor Morgan out in front for Porzundiki scores!
and women's Division II.
Burnett's gonna get a shot and goal, and she scores!
Every shift, every goal, every game,
Central Michigan has turned the corner.
all in one place. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
And welcome back to episode 3 of Inside Chippewa Hockey and our holiday special. I am once again joined by Riley Joyce, Devin Sarah, Lauren Abraham, Parker Morrison, and John Gervasi. Since it is our holiday special and the holiday season is a season of giving, we decided for CCHN to give the players some Secret Santa gifts. So I guess I will go first. Unfortunately, Lauren, I got you. Please don't kill me too much. I got her a CMU teddy bear. There you go.
Oh, look at how cute it is.
Hey, can we get a
It's
zoom in on
all-
that?
Yeah, let's get a zoom in on that.
Wait, did you buy
How
that on
cute this
Fanatics?
is.
Where'd you get that?
I cannot wait to cuddle with
that.
this.
I got.
Oh my gosh. Look at
I'm
the
gonna have
eyes.
to print it out
Staring into your
and
soul.
put it on my pillow next to my bed. Thank you, Derek.
Can we also get a zoom in on Derek's face because he forgot the gift on his show?
He
Come
came
on.
up with the idea.
Thank you, thank you.
Not just his show, the women's broadcaster.
Bless up to
for-
our camera crew in the
Mary
back here.
Chrysler.
So, happy holidays, Lauren.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Devin, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. So this is a very special throwback if any of you guys played Xbox games growing up.
I had a PS4.
This one is the greatest NHL game known to mankind. Let's get a zoom in on this one. NHL 14 with the legendary Marty Brodeur on the cover. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. And my guest that was supposed to receive this, Braden Keel, dipped on us to go do homework.
Wow.
So
Imagine being an academic
I'm going to
weapon.
give this to the only kid that I know that plays video games here. You, Derek.
Thank you,
There we
Devin.
go. There we go.
We're going to double down
Wait,
on
so
it.
we gave Derek something and Abraham gets
Play
nothing?
video games,
know what?
do you?
Yeah, I have a PS4.
Here you go, Lauren.
Oh,
I am
all right,
not
well,
on
No,
that
she can take it and
that.
sell it in
Record
spite of
scratch.
you.
Roy back, there you go. It's yours now.
I have a PS4, so
It's
this will be
the
very
season of
useful.
giving, right? It doesn't matter
Throw it
where
in,
it
see what
comes
happens.
from or how it gets there.
Well, Parker, last but not least, what do you have?
I would love to go, Derek. Well, first, I did get Derek Steele, and I think this is a great gift as he has forgotten his. So first, let me start out with this because the next gift is not very nice. Derek,
What camera? Here we go.
as everyone can see, I am wearing this beautiful hat that says nice. Can we get a quick zoom in on that one real quick? Now, not only do I have one for Derek, but it is miniature. This one says naughty. So we're going to give this one to Derek. You can go ahead and throw that on for us, please. We'll be hat buddies.
Is this going to fit on me?
I don't know. That's why there's a strap.
We'll
Oh
just
my
throw it
God.
on.
Oh
There we
my
go.
Oh, you look so good.
Hold on, let me come over to Derek real quick. What do we think?
It's like Step Brothers.
There you go. There you
Well,
go.
from our
Take one,
CCHN
take two.
family to yours, we do want to wish you a happy holidays and thank you for joining us for episode 3 of Inside Chippewa Hockey. I'm Derek Steele for Riley Joyce, Devin Sarah, Lauren Abraham, Parker Morrison, and John Gervasi. Make sure to stay tuned this weekend for everything CMU hockey and have a wonderful holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas.